All right, I got 7 tips to help you get a handle on the bidding wars going on in the housing market right now. We all know the interest rates are on the rise, and those rising rates are causing a surge in buyers to just feel the need to go ahead and lock in on a home. So they're sitting at about 3.17% right now per Freddie Mac, and at the end of the year, they're about 2.67%. So we can see that they're climbing, and they're likely going to continue to climb. So what does that mean, and how do we handle that when it comes to buying a home in today's market and all the bidding wars going on? Rule number one is to mentally prepare yourself. Mentally prepare yourself. Understand that it's going to be a process. It's not going to happen overnight. It may not just take a couple offers, it may not take 5 offers or 10 offers or 15 or 20. You might be looking at 30, 40, 50. You might be looking at 3 months, 6 months, 9 months to go ahead and see what the market does, for inventory to maybe perhaps open up, or for an offer of yours to get accepted. The other thing would be is rule number 2, and this is a big one, is do not fall in love with the property. Do not become attached to the property, emotionally in love with it. You're allowed to like it, and that's when you go ahead and submit an offer, but do not become attached to it. And the reason being is because you're operating within your own financial constraints, your own budget, just like every other buyer out there. However, we don't know the buying power of other buyers in, just to simply state it, other people may have more cash on hand than you and may be able and may be willing to come out of pocket. Now, it's just as important as understanding the bidding war in that market. It's also important to understand on when to opt out. Matter of fact, I just got off a conversation with somebody who's based out of Long Beach, and they said, we love Long Beach in the area that we're looking, but everything is going for well over $100,000 more than we're willing to spend, and we're just not going to play that game. We're not going to get into it. And for them, that might be the right call. So you have to understand that for yourself as well. So don't fall in love with the property. Number three is be realistic about the market. Understand the market and be realistic about it. And when you're writing an offer, understand what you're asking. I wouldn't be, and I would highly advise you don't go in there asking for closing costs to be paid, placing offers that are well under list price, asking for the home to be cleared out and clean. There are times and there are moments when we can go ahead and get to that, but your number one goal is getting your offer accepted. And by doing that, you want to write the cleanest offer. And that could mean, hey, don't put the termite up front. You may not want to ask for the termite up front. You may not want to ask for, a discount, or for the seller to pay your closing costs, the buyer's closing costs up front. You may not want to do that. Go ahead and write a clean offer and talk to your agent about that. So be realistic about the market, number 3. Number 4 is have your financing in order. I know you get excited, you may want to go take a look at homes, but understand exactly where you're at. Get your pre-approval started, and more than that, have the lender start going through the process to verify that income, and if you can, have it underwritten in advance with the location to be determined. So number 5 is going to be sweeten the deal for the seller. There are more ways to make an offer look attractive other than price. One of the things that we just did was offer to pay the seller's moving expenses. And you say, well, I don't know what those will be. What if they're $20,000? You can put a cap on that. So we're willing to pay the moving expenses up to, let's say, $2,000. You can also offer to have their new place cleaned. You can offer to allow them to stay an extended period of time in that property if they need that transitioning period. So giving them more time to find their next home, right? So making the offer look better for the seller, maybe even offering to pay their closing costs. And that's one way to show your financial strength as well. So that was tip number 5. Tip number 6 would be use escalation clauses. Escalation clauses can be something like, hey, I'm willing to pay $10,000 over list price, right? So let's say I'm willing to pay that, but I'm also willing to go up and above and beyond the next highest offer, $10,000. I'm willing to pay over the appraised value up to $20,000, right? So you can go ahead and put a cap on that to help give you some protection, but also allow you to go ahead and create a better offer for them. And, you may want to go ahead and have that explained and make sure that you and the agent are on the same page in terms of using your escalation clauses. The last one and the last tip is going to be know when enough is enough, right? You've crafted your best offer, know when to go ahead and get out. Sometimes if you know people that are competitive and you want to go ahead and you just got to win it, you don't care what it takes. And you may find yourself in a position if you're offering too much and going above and beyond what you're really comfortable with just to win the deal, and then you're in the transaction, you're just realizing, hey, you're second guessing that. Maybe we shouldn't have offered so much. So know your limits and know when to say enough is enough and walk away from that. Anyways, those are my 7 tips for you. Have a wonderful day. Bye, everybody.